Welcome to the spin. Kevin Carrick is right. I bet it's John that's late.
It was me this time. I apologize.
It's a good bet.
Tyler, was that
Morning. Am I out of sync again?
You're really bad.
You
It's
sound like a
literally
robot.
the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Like it's like your mic currently is worse than how NorCal was ran. That's how. Yeah. He got off on that one.
He's out? All right, we'll bring him back. Maybe not. Maybe he needs to start working on his muscle ups. All right, well, we got the good show for you guys today. But on the far right, we have Mr. Ty Jenkins joining us. Welcome to the show.
What's up? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So Ty, you qualify for the CrossFit Games, and then what have you been doing the last few weeks? Were you actually training for the games or going vacationing?
So I came back and did like some very easy training for about a week. And then last weekend, I went down to Peru with the Mayhem Missions team for a short little 2.5-day trip. And then just got back Sunday, and games training started Monday. So we're getting after it now.
Okay. Well, who all went down to Peru with you?
So the Mayhem Missions team has a pretty big staff. But as far as CrossFit athletes, it was Camilla, who just qualified out of Copa Sur, and then Fee and Luke Parker, and then Jorge Fernandez, Rebecca Devine, and then Bella Martin was down there as well.
It's quite the crew.
Yeah,
how'd you get connected with them on doing Mayhem Mission? Is that something you've been part of for a while, or is that something that's new?
No, this is the first one I've been on. I got to know Luke in 2022. I stayed with him when I was training out at Mayhem. And then Fee was asked to go on the trip and was asked if anyone else she knew would be interested. And she threw my name in there, and they were happy to extend the invite to me. And I'm super grateful for that.
Tyler, you fixed?
Who knows?
Try your computer audio, Tyler.
What? That's not going to matter.
I mean,
It can't be worse.
What is it doing?
Ty, I'm sorry. I should have told you. Tyler is not the biggest fan of yours, and
Okay.
I did not think he was going to try to sabotage your
How about now?
your first appearance on
Yes.
here. That's much better.
How is that better?
Your
Oh,
connection.
it's-
Your
it's
connection. You gotta check your connection to your mic
completely
and your
better.
computer. It's not plugged in all the way or something.
It's not plugged in all the way.
Well, my mic's working, so going back to Peru. After you qualified, were there any reservations about not going
To Peru?
to Peru? Like after you qualified for the games, were you like, it's a little bit I should be games training?
No, actually, I committed to this trip in April, and it was the weekend of last chance, and I was willing to forego my last chance qualifier opportunity to go on this trip. The trip was presented to me, and then the next day I show up to church, and it's just a message about giving, and it totally convicted me. Just like not all giving is money, and to donate my time and energy and potentially a chance at a CrossFit Games ticket through the last chance qualifier to help these people out and get them to hear the gospel was totally worth it in my mind. So I was in the trip no matter what happened at Syndicate.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of what Luke did too, right? Like he was, he could have done the last chance qualifier, but he had committed to it. So, no, it's very cool that you guys go. Real quick, Lee Frazier, $19.99. Please buy Tyler a new computer.
He's got to do 40 ring muscle ups in 5 minutes for a new
It's
computer.
not even the computer at this point. It's everything else. That's God. I can't win for losing this past 2 weeks.
Going into this season, did you have obviously you want to go to the CrossFit Games, but was that like the main goal, or was it just let's just get better and see where the cards fall? If you're going to be completely honest.
Yeah. So this last season, I was looking for a change of coach, and one of the highest things on the list of things I was looking for was someone who believes as much as I could that the games were in the cards this year. So I guess to answer your question, I wasn't certain. I wasn't 1,000% certain that it was going to happen. But especially after the flow of the season came out, and then we're looking at in-person qualifiers after the best make it online, then I really thought there was a chance. And so I went into Syndicate like feeling like I was going to puke a week out because I knew there was a chance. And so put a lot of pressure on myself to make it happen. But yeah, I would say I knew there was a chance. I wouldn't have put a whole lot of money on it, but I definitely knew there was a chance, and that was the goal.
You should stop listening to John for those all that pressure he puts on you.
I'm the one who told him it was possible.
Exactly.
You should start with you weren't gonna go to Syndicate. That's what you should have started with.
Right.
Because you know why he wasn't gonna go to Syndicate? Because he didn't believe in himself. That's
I was
why.
going to go to NorCal because I thought Syndicate would be more stacked. But thank you, John, for convincing me to go to Syndicate.
How do you think you would have fared in NorCal amidst all the hoopla?
It was kind of high skill, so maybe good, but it's hard to tell because it seemed like there was a lot going on. I didn't keep up perfectly with it, so
That's
Little-
way to
little
not
going on.
support the team. I appreciate that, Tyler.
Hey, he came out for the first one. Yeah, talk about that. Like you did the World Fitness Project Tour 1.
Mhm.
Then you turn around, you go to Syndicate. But at some point, like when did you make that decision to say, let's go to Syndicate? Like, was it a couple weeks out? Is it after you saw the workouts?
So, I mean, as soon as I got my invite, I'd accepted it. And it was more of when was I going to let them know I wasn't going? Because I just had to choose. Obviously, going to NorCal back-to-back weekends, you're not going to perform 100% at NorCal. And I think I made the decision about 2 weeks out that I was going to stay in for Syndicate, which is better late than never. So then I got all my travel booked and headed up there and just decided it was time to go. I think when they released the workouts was when I decided. Because
Why?
there was no
Because you're
strength
such a
training.
big fan of JR.
Yeah, I love JR's programming. No, it was really because there wasn't a max lift along with Heavy Isabel. That was one of the leading ones. With knowing it was only going to be 6 events, I was like, a max lift could be detrimental. So I was just kind of waiting to see.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair.
What was Torres kind of guiding you through on that? Like, what is that relationship like when it comes to like where you are in your competition career? More
I
competition.
don't think Torres is his coach.
No, I work with
Who-
Jaden at Brute.
Oh, do you? Okay.
But I mean, Torres watches me train in person every day, and he absolutely had a seat at the table when we were discussing that stuff. And once those workouts were released and there was nothing like weird, he was like, let's go. This is your chance. Because like with NorCal, you can always count on something unique, and that can be good or bad. And so when Syndicate was more just classic looking CrossFit, we decided to go all in for it.
Dude, you would have murdered in NorCal.
Well, and he or NorCal would have murdered him. Just but I'm pretty sure Ty didn't even book his flight to NorCal. He was like, all the chips are going to be in Syndicate. I don't even want to have that in the back of my mind.
Yep, that's
No
true.
plan B.
Nope. And it was going to be a really expensive plan B if I didn't make it happen. In Syndicate.
You should tell them about the college thing, Ty.
Oh yeah. So
Are you allowed to like say that?
Yeah, I can say that.
Okay. I don't want to make Mama Jenkins mad.
So I've been doing classes online. I've started my, but I've always disliked school. But I decided it was a smart thing to do was to start studying. So I did. But I also I've also been learning paintless dent repair. So I kind of have like 3 things going on, and one of them has to give because it's been so much. And so I made a joke with my mom earlier this year around the Open. I told her, if I made the games, can I not go back to college next year? And, she was like, there's no chance.
And she didn't believe in him at all. She was like, this is a
No
safe
chance
bet.
you qualify.
So, I mean, the last 3 weeks or so, I've slowly been wrapping my head around the idea that I might go back for another semester, but my immediate thought was, thank goodness I'm done with college, but I probably need to while it's cheap and while I can.
Joe Bravo 499. Thank you, Joe. Ty Jenkins needs to wear a Superman suit in one of the events. Are you a big Superman fan?
I don't know. Not particularly, but are they saying I look like Superman, or I don't know.
Who's the bad guy from
Lex
Incredibles?
Luthor. Oh,
Sinestro, what's his name? Or Syndrome?
Syndrome.
yeah,
Yeah,
you do look like Syndrome.
You do favor Syndrome a little.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
It's the smile. You got these big teeth, and like that's what it's
a good jawline.
Looking at Syndicate, like obviously you were in the hunt most of the time. What was that Saturday night going to bed, knowing that you're right on the verge of qualifying if you do have two good final events? Like, what was that night like?
Saturday night was fine. The events were so late, I tended to be able to go to bed easily. But then it was the getting up at 7 a.m. Sunday and having to kill 5 hours before I could even think about going to warm up. That was when I was just like so nervous, trying to distract myself. Obviously, the preparation was in. I was confident in my ability in the events, but there's still always something could go wrong or I might just not have enough. And so it was stressful. It was by far the most stressful comp I've ever done, but I loved that stress. Then you go out on the floor and that just turns into adrenaline and energy. And it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, what was your mindset going into the final event? Like, did you have a plan to just go out? Were you looking at where Luke was, where Jack was? Did you know what you needed to do?
So I set myself up to pace the first half and then burn it down on the second half and try to catch up to both of them. But in my mind, I was like, they are the ones who have to take a risk. I can't dilly-dally and, go super slow, but they're the ones who have to take a risk and try to beat me. So I run my race on this. I don't do something that would be dumb for me, like trying to hold on to that first sandbag and then build to the second half of the workout and hopefully have the gas to go touch and go in the last 9, which I didn't, but thankfully didn't need to. But it was just stay ahead of Luke and Jack or one or the other. And I knew I had it. So then after the bar muscle ups, when I beat Luke to the bag and then I saw his judge only put one finger down after his first sandbag clean, he didn't hold on to it. I knew it was over then. I just had to stay on it. So.
Is my mic better now?
It is.
Okay, sweet. That event, you really had to go all out, and it was sort of like a defining event amongst that competition. To me, it was the staple of I am definitely able to go to the games. And Ty, to be honest with you, my faith in teen athletes is a little lower, and I was not expecting you to just hang on and really push everybody on that. And the moment that you came across the line, I said to whoever was next to me, I was totally wrong about Ty. You totally showed me up. So it was an amazing moment to watch.
I appreciate that. I'm glad I proved you wrong there.
Your mic's messing up, man.
God!
To Tyler's point, I think that is an event to prove not that I'm fit enough, but I'm strong enough to go to the games because strength's always been your limiter. I would argue probably had games lungs for a few years. But you look at what that event did to George Sterner. I think you a year ago would have been right with George Sterner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that you have to have this overwhelming strength, but you do have to be strong enough. And it's not a barbell, but your strength gains over the last year or two, I think showed through in that last event just to be strong enough to make the games.
Vicky, $1.99 towards a new mic cable for Tyler. He needs a lot of things.
Give it
out there.
Was I the only guy in that last heat who broke the rings twice? I was thinking about that.
Oh no, a lot of people were breaking up a lot. Like a lot more
Oh,
than we thought they were going to. Maybe in your little like triumvirate, but
Okay.
a lot of people were breaking up a lot.
Yeah, no, it was. I think people heard what Taylor had said, right? Like, oh, he's going unbroken on everything, and he's just burning it down. And like, yes, Taylor could do that, but not everybody is Taylor on those specific movements.
Yeah, I think Taylor would have had like a top score at the games in that event. So like whenever like when we heard his test scores, we expected more of like the field, but no, it turned out like, he would have been with like Dallin and Jason in that event, and you guys aren't Dallin and Jason, no offense. It's just,
so now you're back in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Is it similar to Brute? Like we talked last year, everybody does kind of their individualized programming, but you're with Fee. My dogs are losing their mind. You're with Fee, you're with Dallin, but you're kind of doing your own track for the most part.
Yeah. Especially having a different coach. We kind of just all coexist in the gym, and then occasionally we'll hit, like today, Dallin and I did a very similar piece that we had one or two movements differently, but still got to throw down a little bit. And as we approach the games, we'll do that a little more, just to, be competitive, bring the intensity up. But typically, yeah, we're not always doing every training piece together.
Do you like that? Like kind of, do you have anybody training with you, or are you just on your own? Like, does anybody else jump in and do those same pieces?
Not really. My buddy Landon Ryan drove down. He lives a couple hours away and did one with me Monday. And that was the first time in a long time someone's done a workout with me, which is nice. But when I was back in Missouri, for the most part of my teen career, I trained alone. So just being in the gym with other people is nice. And just being able to see how, even if we're not doing the same workout, just how Dallin moves, how he attacks things, how he transitions, how he doesn't ever rest, it feels like. So there's things like that you still learn, even though you're not directly throwing down every day.
Is there a game plan to get you a girl to train with? Not
Female.
Yeah.
Female.
Like, and maybe even if it's not for this game season, to like next year to have like somebody to go head to head with, just because those relationships have shown to be beneficial.
I think eventually I don't think there's a plan in place. But eventually, like, the goal would be for me to go back to the Midwest and hopefully find someone willing to go there and then train together.
I wish you and Lydia Fish would be training partners. I think that would be amazing.
You'd have to move up north.
Yeah, is she Wisconsin or Michigan?
I mean, she could move down south, man. It's.
I think she has a fiance and a house, so she's a little more anchored down.
You're training partners. I think that fiance would understand. Are we games athletes or not? Is this your career or not? Okay, it's for work.
Okay.
Have you had talks with Dallin? Because Dallin seemed to transition probably one of the best. He never seemed to have gotten burnout like some of the other teen athletes did. Have you had talks with him and Jason about like managing that, or is it just?
It's not something that's really come up in my life, because I think I do a good job of not making CrossFit my purpose. And I think that's where these other teens struggle, is that they like define themselves by their performance in CrossFit. And I think that's what leads to burnout. And I think Dallin and I have talked a little bit. It's like every summer training for the games is hard, but we've never had moments where I want to quit the sport, because ultimately it's just not everything. It means a lot to us, but it's not everything.
Could you see how that could change though? Maybe like for some, once they do get to that games and it's like they've been there, now it's all in, you see the improvement, and then people just maybe lose sight of that. Is that maybe why some of those athletes end up burning out?
Yeah. I mean, as someone who I think I'm pretty grounded in who I am and not letting CrossFit define me, it's hard at times. Like it gets really hard to not let this sport define you when it's all you do every day. And especially for me, when I move 1,000 miles away from home to do this full time, and there are moments where it's hard, but I still don't think I've ever been close to that point where I hate the sport so much I want to get out of it, or I'm hating training so much I want to get out of it. Because I think Dallin just does a good job of making like it. There's more outside of training down here. Like we hang out just as friends sometimes, which is awesome. So
more, you said there's, CrossFit isn't everything. So is the larger thing in your life, the faith part of your life?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I think like there was a moment where I didn't, even after having some success as a teen, where I still didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And ultimately it was like, my purpose is to, put God on a pedestal and use whatever gifts he's given me. And so using CrossFit as a vessel for that keeps it where like CrossFit is something I do, but it still doesn't define me, where it's like, that's my purpose. That's what means more to me. That's why I'm willing to go to Peru instead of having a chance at the last chance qualifier, had I needed it.
It's interesting to think about that, because Rich notoriously like that's the larger piece of his life is faith. Dallin, I would say the same thing, but Emma Carey, it seemed like faith was the thing that made her leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess is true for Rich for like 6 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just interesting.
I think there's a point where you can be aware if it's taking away from other parts of your life and still step away respectfully in that. And obviously I don't know what all goes on with Emma Carey, but it was almost like she had gotten to the point where faith was still so much more important to her, and CrossFit was taking away from that for her. And for me, it's just been something to further my ability to share what I love with people. And so they've co-aligned, and it's been great. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Grant said that CrossFit defines him, and he's barely average. Emphasis on barely. Kevin Carrick has a good question. Is Ty a button-up or polo guy to church?
Polo for sure. I'm not sweating through some button-ups here in Jacksonville, Florida. It's 98 degrees at 9 a.m.
I have 3 polos and I just recycled them.
Yo.
I don't, and that's it. Like I have 3, and my wife knows exactly all 3 of them, and I just wear them once a week, and then we just rotate.
If I start going back to church, I'm suiting up for sure. Turn into one of those guys.
The seersucker suit.
Yeah,
as you should. Ty, I appreciate it, man. Good luck with your training, and go get him at the games. So
thank you so much.
Dallin says what, 43 more days?
Yeah, it's getting close. It's getting close. So
awesome.
Crazy. It's like 6 more Mondays, I think, is what we were talking about this last Monday. So it's crazy. What were you gonna say?
I said I'm excited to see you in Albany.
Yeah, let's go.
Where?
I assume you all will be there.
I will be.
John is confirmed. The other 2 are not.
He's putting the heat on us.
I didn't know if I was allowed to say you guys weren't going, but as of right now, I'm the only one going.
We're working it out.
And I'll be a part of the Savon team. I was like ready to we're just gonna do what we did last year, but it's gonna be a little bit better than last year for obvious reasons. And then they're like, hey, we're not doing anything. I'm like, all right, Savon, well, whatever you need, I'll be here.
We'll be doing stuff.
We'll be doing stuff. Just
That's right. So
Gotcha.
Okay.
Either way. All right, man. Well, appreciate it, and good luck out there.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. See y'all.
Have a good one.
Ty.
Ty Jenkins. Tyler.
Yeah.
You don't sound terrible, but
it's going through this mic on the camera. It's the best I got right now, guys. I actually do. The computer's being great. It's my wife's Mac, but for some reason, I think it's like, I wonder if my little dongle that takes all the USB-Cs got fried at Syndicate, because it's not been normal since we came back.
Yes, if you have the mic plugged into like multiple, yes, it can easily happen.
Yeah.
So
got to get a better dongle.
You need a new dongle. All right. We got some viewer comments. That'll be a reminder for you guys to subscribe We're still approaching the 10,000 mark. We're just slow and steady. We might get there by 2027. We'll talk about some last chance qualifiers. I have a good blind rankings for you guys, and then some guardrails for the season. All right, first one. Actually, we have two of them before I pause. First one's from Kathy Stan. In regards to NorCal getting a semifinal next year, you're all assuming the qualifying process will be the same. If CrossFit is true to form, there's zero chance of that.
It won't be.
That's excellent, fair point.
Yeah. And Phil DePooper said, calm down, Tyler. All the qualifiers should be like NorCal. Nothing emulates real life more than uneven lanes. These athletes earn their way without all things equal, so I would argue that they over-qualified. We need to quit pampering athletes. So what if someone had to run 6 feet further than someone else? Go faster. As for the weight change debacle, that falls on nobody but Nate. Maybe he should do some flashcards on the minute.
Man,
I don't know about that last part, but I don't know. This person just seems like they're angry.
I appreciate the arguments that you're making, but this is a qualification system to go to the games, and where every second matters, every little inch counts. I'm not going to get on the all lanes can just be whatever. That makes zero sense. And then I don't think it's totally on Nate. I'm not buying that. And I think I said something to that effect to the NorCal guys on Hiller's show. Like it's not all on Nate. And I think that's a cop out.
I do think it's like 80% on Nate, though.
No, I would say
I would not
40.
say that high.
I think you just say, no, I'll just clean the heavier weight and then do it, and then you're fine. That's what Ilia did.
Ilia didn't know. Well,
You're right.
What is it? Blair wouldn't fix
Ilia
put the
didn't know
weight on
what
for
was going
Ilia.
on. Ilia didn't know what was going on at all. He just walked up and was like, I guess we're doing this now. And then he did it. Like, there wasn't no, like, are you sure? I think it was Little Blues. That thing said Little Blues. Like,
Yeah.
he just did, okay. And then he lifted the weight. I'm just saying, you just lift whatever you put on there. He could have put a white and a Little Blue on. It's still more than the weight that's prescribed. Like, would have saved that.
One thing I don't think anybody.
Best take. This is the best take.
It is easier. I don't think anything was ever talked about, but I thought it was interesting that Blair is like Ilia goes to CrossFit Anywhere.
I just know that.
Yeah, just Ilia goes to whatever CrossFit Anywhere or anywhere CrossFit or fitness or whatever it is.
Blair's too.
Yes.
Yeah, but Blair's not his coach.
Okay.
It's not like he just, works out there.
Right.
I was pro putting plates on for Ilia because he doesn't speak English good.
It's the wrong plates.
But
what are you freaking talking about, Tyler?
Yeah, but the whole idea was that Ilia didn't understand what plates you're supposed to put on, and Blair
and neither
was
did
trying
Blair.
to save him. Well, that's true.
That's a whole different problem. But
they were the only two that understood.
Who was?
Well, it was supposed to be 325, right?
Blair and Ilia, that's what I'm saying. Or they were the only two that understood.
Good, that matters.
Because you know what? People are good at math in other places, and America should be better.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say.
Make math great again.
Feels icky.
I didn't like that. I knew that last year when he was going there. It just didn't rub me the right way. To Drew Peanuts. JY Barbell shout out. Week 2 of the program, A+.
I don't know who this is.
Somebody that signed up 2 weeks ago, John.
I'm gonna guess it's Benjamin, but if I'm wrong on that, I'm sorry.
I would say his name is Drew, but
it could.
I'm just guessing.
I don't have a Drew. It could be one of 3 people, and I'm gonna guess it's Ben McNeese. But thank you. Yeah, hop on the train. DM me if you want to get strong.
Yeah, that is a good point, CrossFat. Let's see. Oh, also, Phil DePooper says, also buy your own computer, Tyler. There's no way you have 50 muscle ups.
Yeah, I don't.
I tried to tell you 50 was too many.
You guys just kept freaking. Everybody was
How about
throwing
60?
out
No,
goals.
I was saying, dude, he can't do 50. And then like you're like, I don't want to do it now. I'm like, okay. Go ahead. Like, I think 40 is the correct number.
In 5.
Here's
or
the
in
thing.
4?
I know that I
5.
can do 30 ring muscle ups in 5 minutes.
I
And
could do 40 in 5, I think.
that's what I'm saying. And so it's like 30 is too small. So I think 40 is a great number.
Yeah, I can try that. So I did the community cup last week. A lot more people did that than I expected. Like it was pretty flush with people.
10,000
There wasn't a ton
people?
of market. There wasn't a ton of marketing on it.
No, and I did it because Mayhem programmed it. I did not sign up, so sorry about that. But I did do the workouts. And there was a ring muscle up, overhead squat workout. No, sorry, I did the last chance qualifier workout, a 185. Sorry,
There wasn't a lot of marketing on that either.
Same.
Oh my god.
9, 12, 15 overheads or ring muscle ups overhead
Wait,
squats.
hold on. No, I just did the class workout. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was just a class workout for the day.
It makes more sense why you didn't sign up for it.
I was warming up and I was like, okay, I'm going to do 5 every 30 seconds for 4 rounds and see what that feels like. Got 3 rounds in and was like, I'm going to try this last one. And in that last one, I was like, I'm fucked for 50. There's no way I can do it.
Look who's up. Coffee Pots and Watts. Why is he up so late?
Why are you up?
It's what, midnight over there?
Children is the answer.
Maybe. I know he's going to like
He's
CrossFit
in-
gyms.
He's in Birmingham.
Yeah, sounds nice.
Birmingham, England.
Yes.
Same time zone.
Something like that. Let's see. At Jar Jar Loves CrossFit. Sad I missed this live, but I 100% agree with Tyler in all areas. And Jared Graybeal said Tyler was on it today. So everybody liked your rants. So got that going for you.
You'll have another one coming in 4 to 6 months.
Yeah. At JR Gills, timestamped an hour and 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Oh, wait. So Tyler really didn't love NorCal.
4 to 6 months. What is in 4 to 6
He
months?
only gets angry every like 2 to 3 times a year. That's
I
it.
got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
That's right.
That could be more like 2 to 3 now that you have a child.
That's true.
That's
I
true.
am
Yeah.
way more
High
have a-
strung.
yeah.
Yeah. I find myself very calm, cool, collected, but then just snap so much. Not quicker, because I was always a quick snapper and I'm quick to snap out of it as well, but so much more frequently. Does that make sense?
We went to Chicago for the Hyrox Worlds. My wife and her sister qualified, and bronze of a month old. And by the
Jeanette and Janelle.
yeah,
Did I see that Janelle was pregnant?
she is. So that's what's crazy is because Jeanette was like in her second trimester when she did Hyrox with her sister, and then now the roles have been reversed. And what's nuts is they only got 30 seconds slower. Jeanette being 4 weeks postpartum, and Janelle being in the depths
4 weeks partum.
4 weeks postpartum. But anyway, there were so many moments where people would just like I was ready to hit people in the face immediately. CrossFit might have just outed himself. I think I know who you are now.
Is it Shane?
I don't think it's Shane.
It's not Shane. It's not Shane. It's obviously he doesn't like me. So if he's over at Team Proven, just think who doesn't like me.
There's a lot to look.
Somebody has said that to me before.
If it's Kiefer, I'm going to be very upset because I thought I thought me and Kiefer were cool, and whoever this dude is, he really doesn't like me. So I don't know if I rubbed anybody the wrong way over there. I've said 2 words to Nick, and they were both "What's up?" Yeah, that's it.
So anyway, Hyrox, Tyler.
Oh, I was just talking about how I was ready to go off on anybody if they slighted me in any kind of way. I was like in a way that I've never been like before. I'm usually very like able to handle just bullshit going on all the time. Here lately, it's at an all-time minimal. You get a homeless guy acting weird around me, I'm ready to kill him.
How was the Hyrox?
We went on the doubles day,
Is that Saturday?
which was Sunday.
Oh,
And everybody had kind of phased out. I did talk to Nick, and he said that it was the vibes were way more hype. The vibes were way more hype, and a lot of people were there to watch Tia. A lot of people were there to watch Hunter, and so that one was really, really big. We both went to the one before, and so I trusted his sort of gauge on that. The one I went to is a little bit more low key because it was the doubles. Like basically, there were no superstars there. Everybody there is really fit, but they're like not the top 15 or whatever. And it was mostly just people there to compete or watch their, whoever loved one compete. So, but it was still really cool. A lot of foreigners,
That's
lot
what
of
I was gonna
Europeans.
ask if they made the trip to do that.
Yes. I mean, like, I would say over half the people there were European.
European people love their endurance sports, man.
Mm-hmm.
European people live for endurance.
Well,
things.
I get that. I was just curious, like if they traveled, right? Like I wonder what Hyrox last year, maybe not it wasn't as big. Like obviously it's growing, but how many people in the States who qualified made that trip to wherever it was last year in Europe?
Yeah.
Like it's a big commitment just to go race and finish 60th in your age group, right? Like
Right.
It's still pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but like that's a big commitment to take yourself and maybe your family overseas to do that.
Right. It being Worlds, I think there was a higher level of investment on that. I will say when we went to Chicago for the qualifying event, it was mostly Americans.
Yeah.
There were Europeans there, but it was mostly Americans. Yeah, a ton of Irish. I notice now because I can pick the accent out so much faster. Thanks, Pedro. And I was like, are there like 10,000 Irishmen here?
And
like, what the hell?
And then the Irish are like the least endured of all the European countries. Like they're the worst cardio ones of all the European countries.
Not very far to run.
Well, they more of a drinking society. I think that contributes to their lack of cardio. I'm not one to talk, but not with drinking, but just lack of aerobic
cardio.
capacity. Yeah.
Are you Irish?
I don't think so.
I'm
Scottish.
What was the experience for those who were not running? Like, was there a vendor village? Was there anything to do other than stand there and watch people run?
Couldn't tell you. I had bronze strapped to my chest, and it's loud as hell in there. I mean, take the old regionals days and put about 100 more decibels on there. And he was not like, we got those little headphones,
the big headphones on him.
He was not having it. He was fighting me the whole time. So I was like, cool, I'll just sit. There was like this VIP area that I snuck into that I could see one part where they would run around the track and then they were gone. It was literally just like this. And then they were gone. And so I just sat there for 50 minutes. But they reorganized their setup. When I went to Chicago last time, it was a shit show. You had athletes and like regular, just fans who are there to watch. They were all commingled, and then like the heats would, you get in the loading dock, and the loading dock was like in with all the regular people, and their warm up area was like in this glass mezzanine or something. It was really cool. The warm-up area is way more cool. I take that back, Spin. There was like a vendor village area. It was in like this domed, it looked like a Grand Central Station from like the 40s or something. It was pretty neat. A lot more low key in there, but the vibes were pretty good. It was really well run. It looked good, felt good. So yeah.
Okay.
But the vendor village was sort of away from stuff a little bit. It was like you went, as you walked through, you started in vendor village. They sort of forced you through that vendor village area to come in and check in. And then you had to go back up into the athlete area and then into the main event space.
And then you leave, you go right back out the same
Yeah.
way. So you get to go. Yeah, I mean, that's a good setup. I mean,
It
probably
being
better
at the
than-
Navy Pier is also clutch because there's like 18 places to eat at the Navy Pier and no one wants to travel far. And it's a good location.
Yeah.
I imagine it's hella expensive.
Yeah. Coffee pods and wads. There's usually Red Bull, Puma, Velites, and some protein company and a salt company with stands.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
about it.
Okay. Interesting. So that's it for viewer comments. Go subscribe. Help us get to 10,000 at some point.
Where are we at?
We're at 9,800.
Are you kidding me? 200 more?
We have
Oh,
200
man.
more. Let's see. Where are we now?
This is a funny
9,804.
comment,
We
Kevin,
gained one new subscriber while
because
on the show.
we were supposed to do a Hyrox race together, and Tyler bailed. He did, and he left me with Jason and Dallin, and they left me. Period. And
I'd do one with you.
It was just me. You were supposed to do one with me there, man.
That's
and,
lame.
and then
You're
he
just training.
he just bailed on it. And then freaking Jason's already done with his ice bath by the time I'm on the wall balls, and it was not a fun time for me.
Pedro is close. He's right behind us on subscribers. I remember when he beat us to 5,000 and then we passed him. So if you're already subscribing here, go give Pedro a follow, get him close, but not pass us. That'd be cool.
Objects are closer than they appear, though. So
I like Judy's idea. Just have everybody in the family just go subscribe, even if you.
Yeah. Whoever, all the people who watch, they're clearly subscribed. We have like a 97% subscription rate.
You're actually not wrong.
One of the top,
Really?
no, I know. One of
It's
the tops
very
in all
high,
of you.
yeah.
One of the tops in all of YouTube. Go to your significant other and say, "Hey, can you just do this favor for me?" You don't even got to watch them, but they're
Just hit
trying
play,
to get.
just hit play every night, and then just go do something else. Yeah.
We could you could if you have to listen with noise on, because I know I have to do this. Then you could just let us play and you fall asleep. I watch the freaking child predators getting caught, and it puts me to sleep, knowing that justice is being served. And that's
That's right. I know. Actually, Domo Roderick, the Meme for Time guy, he would go watch all of his stuff and like let the commercials run just to help him like grow his channel. Yeah, like I'm getting a full view and all the commercials.
I know that was part of the Liver King documentary. He had like screens up and he was just playing his own stuff on Instagram.
That's how you get to a million subscribers.
That's dedication.
That is good.
I was like, I just buy the views. I'm not gonna have my shit running all day.
Your computer.
Dude, I saw a YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Do you think is it possible? I don't know how the whole views buying thing works, but can you buy like a small amount of views and like a big amount of views? Are they like different prices? Like if you had like 12 views on a YouTube video and then like that, it was like 800 or something like that.
Yes.
Are you able to do that? Like a small amount too?
Yes.
Which one? I feel like if I was going to buy views, I would want to go like 20,000.
YouTube will go catch them. Like a lot of times they'll find them if it's not legitimate. So it'll show up really big and then it'll start to go back down. So it's not worth it, especially on like the live side. They'll catch those for sure.
Hiller bought me followers on JY Barbell, like without telling me, just to freak me out. And I hate it because like I have a lot of people have followed JY Barbell and I have no idea what the actual number is, because it's just a bunch of Indian people like that. I don't know if it's their job to follow people when you buy followers, but like they after a while they unfollow you, but I have no idea where that turn rate is and what the actual number is. So I just like It's like I guess it just is what it is. It's highly annoying though.
Yeah, okay. Where is Hike Malpin? We've not seen Hike in a while.
He's dead.
Oh, I don't know.
Mike killed him.
Okay. Aren't they fake accounts? I have no idea what on Instagram. I don't know. I don't know how it works on YouTube.
I mean,
either.
I clicked on them all, and it was all just a bunch of Instagram people with no followers, or Indian people. They were all Indian people.
I'm sure it's like the whole farm stuff where they're just like farming. Like Facebook had it. You just get.
Yeah. I don't know how it works, but I wish I could like make them. I delete their follow, but you can't do that. I tried.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, I couldn't figure it out.
I mean, it's like me. I can't figure out how to unblock you if John goes rogue, but that's on you. Last chance qualifier. I guess it happened. At least the Hustle Up app has scores in there. Tyler, you did the workouts. You think? Oh, look at that!
Hey, you know for sure that this dude is already in the comments. Like whoever this dude is, like or girl, they have been watching the show the whole time. They're in the comments of somebody else. Like this could be Judy, it could be Grant, it could be Jenny. And like that guy is he's one of these people. It could be Peter. You know 100%.
Nice to see you again, Hike.
Way to cover yourself up, Peter. Way to.
That's crazy. Welcome, Hike. It's good that.
Good. Mike Alpin's dog's back too.
They watch on mute.
I'm gonna have cramps.
Tyler, you did the workouts, I think.
Maybe.
Was it a good test of fitness to get a last chance qualifier through the door?
Yeah. I think it was well balanced. I think it was good.
Were you happy with how many people attempted to compete in said last chance qualifier?
No, but it was not unforeseen. By Syndicate, that was probably a little late, honestly. I was like, yeah, nobody's going to do last chance. Like, you could just tell, even at Syndicate, that people were just done. Dude, they were smoked. They didn't want to do this anymore. And that is the part that I was talking about, things being on Dave's shoulders, is like, oh, what's happening? Sport. Yeah, things being on Dave's shoulders, like this design of semifinals, like particularly putting the in affiliate. God,
yeah, just hang on, John Young. All these imposters are making me sleepy. $5. Thank you, John Young.
Dude. I don't know if this is a real picture, like a fake one, but I don't know how you capture that
definitely
and make it your thing. And I 100% was yawning whenever that came up. That's wild. That's crazy. We need to like find where that happened, because that feels like a X-Files type deal.
Anyway, Tyler,
in affiliate semifinal should have been last. These athletes, I don't know that I like that. I mean, in some ways it's cool that they can compete at multiple semifinals, but it makes things a little weird. This season was just so hard to navigate, and it was tiresome. And so when people didn't do last chance qualifier, I was like, yeah, I'd be out too.
Don't you? I mean, did you guys watch Mayhem, the Froning podcast, at all?
Today, the most recent one? No, I haven't seen it yet.
I mean, they talked about that too. Like, I think maybe more Scott than anybody. It's like, it's finally over. Like, we made it through. Like, this was a long grind of 3 months of just stuff, or I guess 2.5 months from April through mid-June of something every freaking weekend.
Yeah.
Too much. Like, everybody wanted to compete more. They had opportunities to compete more. Some people were flying back and across around the world. Like Hannah Black was like, I'm gonna go to TFX and I'm gonna go to Tori, and like she was
I
everywhere.
don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Like if getting to the games is a grind, it's a grind. You know who it wasn't a grind for? Colton and Austin.
Yeah.
You know who it wasn't a grind for? Jeff Adler, Dallin Pepper, Fee Sagafi, Abby Doman. They're chilling. I saw Abby Doman on a beach the other day. She's not worried about it.
In person, like in Houston.
No. Houston don't have beaches, bro. Right. And if they do, Abby Doman's not going to be at those beaches. But like the people who are the best in the world, I don't think it was that hard for them to make it. And then if it was Yonakoski, like you've kind of earned it being that hard for not winning in another one or not getting through in online. Like and then you still get to make it. Like Yonakoski is a games athlete. I'm glad that he made it, right? He's one of the fittest guys in the world, but it's on him that he didn't make it before. It's completely on him. So I don't mind it being a grind at all.
What's going on?
What?
It's all the fake handles are just showing up.
Mitch Hooper watching. He blocked me on Instagram, but he still watches it on YouTube.
He's blocked you. He didn't block me.
He blocked me, bro.
That's
that's not Hitch Mooper. That's
Mitch Hooper.
Yeah.
That's the real one. You guys should not make fun of people.
Regardless, I don't mind the grind at all because I think if you are fit enough, it's not a grind, and it's only a grind for the people who are going to be, 25th through 40th, or true games athletes. It was a grind and that's your fault. And then you can blame, you have nobody to blame but yourself. I don't mind that at all. I like the multiple opportunities. Now, obviously, online should be the last thing. And then last chance should be like the week after online.
No more last chance. It's done.
Well, if you want it. Okay.
Well,
I'm with it. But if online is your last thing, then you can just say 12 spots, right? You don't have, there is no last chance, right? You can just say
that is the last chance. Yeah.
Correct. Right. And I think that's the best way, obviously.
And they should have been.
All right. Okay. Phil, you're right, Phil. 20 to 30th. You're right.
Yeah. They should have been. I think we said this before, like the last chance qualifier, and make this what the in-affiliate semifinals were, should have been the same as the Community Cup. And they should have been 5 workouts, and the Community Cup is 3 of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't necessarily care about that. Like, yeah, it's much cleaner, but if it's
nobody was focusing, like nobody talked about the Community Cup. Again, nobody knew about Last Chance Qualifier. It's sitting on an app that nobody wants to download. We don't see the videos. If it was part of the Community Cup in those 3 workouts, it ties everything in together, just like quarterfinals kind of did. I mean, or the Open does.
Sure, it should all be on one thing for sure, and that's the CrossFit's thing.
Yeah, and when there's those too many things going on at once, people aren't focused on any of it, and so you just tune out. Me so easy. I'm Halpin's mail order bride.
I feel really bad for Halpin when like things like this happen. Where like literally 363 people just so you get like railed. But then like you just look at one post and it's like the same post, the next 15 posts down, and just how much you hate CrossFit. And then I don't feel bad anymore. Yeah. Also, if all you do is speak badly about CrossFit, do you expect to get accepted?
By who?
What do you mean? By who? For what?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
I don't know. Who won the Last Chance Qualifier, John?
We don't know yet.
I thought we did know. Unofficially?
We unofficially know, yeah.
Okay. Unofficially, Yonakoski and Lydia Fish. And I'm fine with not very many people doing it. If we have those winners, right? If like the winner is like some no-name person that does well in online competition and is trash in in-person competition, I'm not cool with it. Both of these people, obviously Lydia far less so, but she has shown that she got 4th in Syndicate after taking a 29th place or something in Heavy Isabel. Like she will not be she will be middle of the pack in games events.
Yep.
And I'm totally cool with that. Like those people coming out. And then I think 2nd place was Kyra Milligan. She's the same way, right? So like
games.
Right, but I'm saying like most events, she could be middle of the pack, going to be last in some things, and then has a couple home runs up her sleeve. Lydia Fish, I think, is in the same mold, maybe less so, but in the same mold. So like I'm good, and Nate Ackerman's the same way. Like he's of Lydia Fish and like Kyra Milligan. Like he'll be middle of the pack in a lot of events, maybe lower middle. He'll be last in some, but then he's also going to have home runs, and that's what you want from your last people going. And Yona obviously has very good pedigree. I don't think anybody's going to complain about Yona going to the games.
Yeah, Nate would not do so hot on the first workout. That's a lot of running.
No, but there's going to be some lift and some legless rope climb workout that he is going to be great, and it's going to be fun to show. Like I want people who can throw a wrench into things. I don't want Mariana Meza. No offense to you, girl. You got a spot. Cool.
Great.
That's going to be last place in everything. Yeah, I don't want somebody who's going to be 25th or lower in everything. I want somebody, even if you are trash and you run a 640 mile, like you're going to be able to throw a wrench in some events. That's what I want. And I think that we got that.
Okay. David Oviedo. Tyler, are you zinning?
I am.
Okay.
I've stopped so many times and I've started so many times I've lost count.
Savon Fernandez says Abby was in Dominican Republic or another DR.
Do you know what, guys? Do you know what this was in reference to? Grant thinks it's about him, like he thinks everything is. Do y'all know what that was a reference to?
Yeah, Tyler calling it correctly.
That's right. Tyler doesn't know what it's a reference to.
Oh yeah,
Tyler doesn't know.
I don't know. Matt Souza, go watch his little funnel channel. His show today, automating your leads coming in. Did somebody say opportunities? If you haven't seen my recent post, please do and comment opportunities to join this new movement. It was very profound.
Was it really?
Oh, it's very. Let me see.
I'll talk about Zen while he's doing that.
Fico, I hope that I am. I don't hope ill will on anybody. But if I had a nickel for every time somebody said I'm going to be surprised by some girl I have not heard of before, I would have like $20. It's a lot, guys. If we do the math on that, that's a lot. I was trying to be realistic.
Remember when was it Shelby Neal was like, John, I'm gonna do so much better, and then she finished exactly where
where I had it. Yeah, and you'd be shocked at how much that happens when they're like, look out for this person, and they end up doing exactly what I thought they would be doing. Very rarely am I surprised, and then whenever I am surprised, I back this person forever. Do I not? I said Alex Gazan was overrated her first year. She came out and got 4th place. Now I'm like, I couldn't be more on Alex Gazan ever.
That's right.
When I'm proven wrong, I'm all in on this person. Matthias Porter was the same. He was the same way. That crash.
Here we go. Let's see.
Go like this, everybody.
More excited about future opportunities for the sport to grow, for this community to thrive, and for gyms in general. This is Matt back here in my garage. I mean, my gym with my people from the community. And what am I most excited about? Boots on the ground conversations. And what do those conversations lead to, you ask? Opportunities. And what do opportunities lead towards? Better conversations with partners in this space. It's not CrossFit. I mean, whoops, we can't say CrossFit. It's functional fitness, which are all just the same thing as CrossFit, but we're creating opportunities within this community. I could not be.
There you go.
Boots on the ground, baby.
Boots on the ground. That's right.
Hell yeah. That doesn't make you want to run through a wall. I don't know what does.
That's true. Keeping it real, $2. John, project Ty Jenkins' place. in run, row, run?
12th.
12th. 4th.
4th place, Tyler.
I'm a believer in time.
Where would Ben Smith rank? Would he be 5th place?
Yeah, Ben's a good runner. What did you say, 12th?
Yeah. Dude, there was I remember when we first had Grace Walton on, and I was like, because Grace Walton, I was saying Grace Walton's praises before she like made the games, and then she made it, and I think Barkley was either like against me or impressed with it, one or the other. Probably against. He's almost never impressed with me, but and he goes, "What place?" Because I think I said Fikowski's place like perfect in like 2017 or something like that in an event, and I said Grace Wall is going to be she's going to be 23rd place or something like that. Like I already know what's going to happen, and this was like 6 months later, and he wrote it down, and there was a moment where she was 23rd place, like after like the 5th event or something, and I was gonna cry if I got that right. And then she ended up doing she ended up doing much better and got like 12th place. And I was like completely wrong. But I love throwing out just random placements on people. And then because it's a win-win. One, nobody remembers it if you're wrong. And then 2, if you're right, you get to bring it back up and see like look at like
that's like
look at this prediction.
Have you seen the predictions like on Twitter where somebody calls like some no-name team to win something? And then they realized they made all 30 predictions like when their count was nothing, and then they just delete 29 of them, and then they show look, I predicted it a year ago.
Yeah, or like Halliburton's gonna make a buzzer beater on game 3, Pacers 101, or 110 to 109 or something like that. And this person has said a million of these things, but then just boom was right on one of them. And it is like if you do it, it don't matter how many times you're wrong. If you call something like that perfect, it is impressive no matter what. Like Tyler's 640 call on Danny Spiegel is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And I will go take this to my grave. There is nobody on this planet better at saying bad things are going to happen, and then they happen exactly how they say it's going to happen than Tyler.
My one skill. Knowing when the shit's going to hit the fan.
That was good. I wonder if I can find that one.
I also cursed Tom Kingdon in the LCQ.
Oh, dude, yeah, you can't call people doing good. You can't call people doing good for anything. You got to get off of that.
It's a damn kiss, dude.
You have to get out. Yeah.
Let's be real though. Like, I don't think Tom was going to beat Yona in any
this
way.
is not true. I'm an extremely good sports gambler. Tyler,
he is really good at sports gambling. Like alarming.
Yeah, I can't find it. You've been tagged too many times, Tyler.
Oh, yeah. My page is just you guys at this point.
Yeah, me too.
It pretty much is. October 7th. Yeah.
October 7th.
That was a good day.
I'm convinced CrossFit changed their date just because we said it beforehand.
Just to mess with you. Anyway. Anything else on Last Chance Qualifier? We still are waiting.
You didn't find it, dude? That was like one of the greatest times.
Yeah,
I was ready to watch it again.
I wish I could. Erica Folo.
It's at the games. It's in August.
Yeah, I get it. Tyler's got a lot of stuff here. I went past
making a lot of content, guys. Last thoughts on LCQ.
Well, there's the tank. John and his tank. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, it's got to be around there then.
John brought up Gracie Walton, and I cannot for the life of me remember talking to her on this show.
She was on the show.
I'm all RAM and no hard drive, and John's all hard drive.
What do you mean?
I do not.
The shit you keep in your brain, I don't know how you keep it there. Shit is random access memory for me at all times, and after 10 minutes, it's gone.
I don't know either, man.
Yeah,
I've got like it's not a photographic memory, but it's pretty close. I can't do it with books, but I can do it with like movies or like things that I see happen You know what I mean? And
I was gonna say, you mean the book?
like I can't do it reading, but like if I see it happen, it never leaves.
It is not here.
It's gone.
Or I
It's
cannot
gone
find
forever.
it. Yeah, I don't know.
Got
Anything else
blocked.
on last chance qualifiers? We have until July 20th, Friday.
fine.
That's ridiculous. 5 days to review 30 people's videos.
Not even.
Like you literally just have to review. I guess you probably need to review more than just the winner, because if somebody else had middled somebody, but
Spin, I got it. I got it right here. It's right next to the "Oh no" post. So look at the "Oh no" post.
For who?
Like on your little thing that you're scrolling on
me?
there. Yeah.
I was looking at Tyler's tags.
I mean, well, then it can be on, or go to mine. Go to mine.
Why don't you just send it to me?
Okay, that's fine.
It'd be way easier.
You don't have to like be all smart about it.
No, go left. Now down.
Down. Let me scroll through.
It's right next to like where it says "Oh no."
That's cool.
Just send it to him, John.
I sent it to him.
Okay. There it is.
Hang
One of the
on.
greatest.
Hang on.
Hang on. Please hold.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Blue Chew for? Why are we doing Blue Chew?
Blue Chews for memory.
Is it?
I thought it was like Viagra.
I thought it was Viagra.
Here we go.
6:16, man. Someone's running a 6:16 mile.
In the first
slowest mile.
Oh,
slowest mile?
Slowest mile. No, 6:40.
Freaking tutored in 5:30.
6:40, bro.
On the men?
On.
We're not talking about you.
Yeah, drill me hard.
A few moments later.
Danny Spiegel's way back there.
Let's go. What did I say? 6:40?
Scroll up, Brian. Scroll up a little
Dude,
bit. The clock is up there.
Yes,
Come on. Slow down. You need to slow down.
No, dude, I think it's gonna land right on it. Hey,
Yes.
You're so good at calling bad people.
Oh my god.
There you go.
It's uncanny, man.
Cross that was there.
It's definitely keeper.
All right.
Wait. Maybe it's Travis.
Oh.
CrossFit's Travis?
Yeah.
No. Because CrossFit said some OG things,
I'm like
but there's
mad at
no
Travis
way
now,
Travis
because-
would know.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough. Time for some. That was the best event. That was pretty fun to watch.
Friday night lights at the game saved the entire games. I was talking with somebody about this the other day, and it was like, if that hadn't happened, I feel like that was the moment that brought back the whole games.
I don't know if the games ever got brought back.
It was never going to be 100%, but
it was
like,
the best day of the games.
yeah.
Of all
But
the days of the games.
It lightened the whole mood. Like
It did.
we were
It
in the
did.
dumps.
There was a lot of like good things from that whole event.
And we were all by ourselves in a giant.
We were
vendor
so
village.
late.
It was good times though. We were all by ourselves.
Travis just messaged me. He says, "I've lost access to my YouTube account. It's not me." I love. We're just gonna accuse everybody of being this guy,
Yeah, and then wait
and
for
then
it.
they just keep saying, "It's not me. I promise."
Yeah, could be. Blind rankings. I have a good one for you guys. I think you'll like it. So, I don't. Did you guys see the news that Danny Spiegel is going to be on Gladiators?
Yes.
Could care less.
Dude,
So
how
I want-
wild is it? I mean, I know she's a fitness person, but that they're because she basically has an OnlyFans now. It's not OnlyFans, but whatever it is, right?
passes. I got a
Hey,
story about that. Go ahead.
I'm thinking about coming out with an OnlyFans.
Oh,
Yeah, where
that
we-
should pop
we
off.
do like some scandalous Olympic lifts.
There's already a girl
Or
who
you
does that.
Olympic lift scandalously.
What's
Yeah,
her
but
name?
I'm
Maddie?
a guy. I'm a guy though. Like I would have far less of a following, but my following would pay a lot. because
Right.
it would probably end up being like a gay following.
Hey,
I mean,
Muscle Bear or
a following's a following. I don't know.
I'm thinking me and Matt Rattay are thinking about starting it up.
I don't hate it. Go follow your dreams, John.
Yeah. So
I'm just kidding. I know my mom. I know my mom's watching. No, we're not actually planning.
Maddie Pants. There it is, Thomas. Thank you.
Get this.
I know. Yeah, that let me down. I like her. My wife follows her. Her name's Madison Pinnell, and she stopped following her after that. We were both disappointed. Go ahead, Sven. I'm sorry.
Speaking of Danny Spiegel and passes, so back in like 2016, I did an interview with Danny. Worked with a photographer. It was like a written one of those written ones, like interviews. Just basically like where she was, because I had heard somebody had told me that like, hey, this woman from Orlando area is going to be really good. You should like interview her back, before she becomes popular. So I made this article. And the photographer that was there took photos of her, and I just like I put them into this, right? It's just like her lifting in a gym or whatever. Last week I got a notice from Google that said that this article has been delisted on Google because the rights holder said that I was using copyrighted material.
You're the rights holder.
And technically the photographer is. I was given permission to use it. This was also 9 years ago.
Yeah, there's a statute of limitations on that. Gotta be.
So yeah, I ended up just taking the photos down because I just didn't feel like dealing with it. But I thought that was crazy. Like,
that is nuts.
Yeah, that's like my.
Do we know this photographer?
Because I edited it.
I don't think you do. No. What's funny though is he took photos of Cassie Lance McWhorter when she was becoming big, and I did a similar article with her. It got featured on one of those update shows, like with Sean Woodland and stuff. CrossFit ended up hiring the dude. He was like one of their photographers for CrossFit Games for years. I don't know if he still does or not, but yeah.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. But no, like, and basically I looked at like, you can go see like it gets all these copyright things get put into a database, and like, it was my site and then like a whole bunch of like adult sites that have like taken her material and put them on those sites. That's kind of interesting. But anyway, I was like, that's nuts. Like, it's not even anything. He doesn't even think that he gave her rights to it. So like, it's a whole just garbage. Like,
oh, it's some AI thing working its way through.
I'm sure it is. And like, I could probably fight it, but like, it's just, I don't care.
It's not worth it at this point.
It's 9 years old. Matt Souza, $1.99 for JY's OnlyFans. He wants that. So
there you go. Start it, John.
Yeah. So while Danny Spiegel is going to be a gladiator at some point, I wanted to find out which athletes, 2025 games athletes, who would be the best gladiators.
I thought we were going to rank actual gladiators. Like,
no,
we got Maximus, and then like we'll call Spartacus a gladiator because he kind of was one. We could call Leonidas. Can we do a blind ranking on like not CrossFit stuff at some point? Like,
nope.
like Warriors, your top 5, like a blind ranking. On blind ranking, yeah. Like Achilles would be number 1.
We have to have some knowledge of that. I'm not sure that Tyler has that.
It doesn't, but that's what makes it good, is that we don't. like I think it would be fun to blind rank or just literally anything. Anything. You know what? Comment. If you're gonna leave a comment and you want us to blind rank anything, I know I'm kind of rigging this. Sven hates it. Leave it in the comments.
Tyler hates it.
Something that you would want us to blind rank. We could know nothing about it. No, I know some. I know some history. I know some history. Like, we'll throw Hector in there too. Okay, we could do some stuff. Honestly, dude. Jacob would be like a number 1 warrior. He beat Michael way back in Genesis times. Okay, y'all know that.
Argue that, Tyler?
No, I'm going with Attila the Hun.
Or God. He didn't beat Michael. It was God, but. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you leave it in the comments, anything you want us to blind rank, and we will blind rank.
Or that guy the guy who's the headless horseman on Sleepy Hollow.
Ichabod Crane.
Hessian mercenary. Yeah, that guy. The best warrior.
Oh, the actual horseman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fico Gomez, best Taco Bell menu items.
Okay. All right, Fico. Calm it down.
All right. Where are you going to rank these CrossFit athletes as if they were going to be a gladiator on the TV show on Amazon Prime? First one is Bronislaw. Where'd you put Bronislaw?
Okay, this is for them to be American gladiators.
Yeah, they're one of the gladiators. They get their names.
International gladiators.
He's not American.
He'll be on the show.
Then why? What is he?
Get off the American bit.
The Polish man. That's his gladiator name.
Yeah,
could be. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. 4.
I would say 5 because he's short.
He's
too
6 foot.
short.
He's tall. Is he like 6'1"?
He's about to name just CrossFit people, and he's in. And Bronislaw is 6 foot ish.
My standards for American Gladiator are humongous.
I'm telling you, he's about to name CrossFit people though, and Bronislaw is one of our biggest people.
Is he 6 foot?
Yeah, he's like 6 foot, 6'1". I think he's 6 foot.
I'm still saying 5. He's a cool character, but there's not that.
I will not bend on this.
Psycho.
I say 4. We will go to the chat if we disagree.
Give John 4. I don't want to fight it that hard.
What? No, come on, Tyler. I wanted the chat to say something.
The winged hussars were badass, like Polish Spartans. There you go.
The winged hussars.
Savon Fernandez knows a lot. 6 foot 275.
He's not.
Okay. I don't think he's 275. All right, here we go. All right, Bronislaw number 4. Alex Gazan without a broken.
Here's the thing, like ability, she would be 1, but like how marketable somebody is and stuff like that, I would say 2.
I'd say 2. She's got the look. She's shredded. Her hair creates this whole wow factor. She's got to be able to turn up the showmanship. But I think Gazan.
Yeah, I know, and I almost think you play her off as like this like sweet, kind little thing that wouldn't hurt a fly. And then she
takes it to the bugle stick
and tears people up. Yeah. I can't see Alex Gazan having this fear someone to kill you look, but more like, oh, this is so awesome that we get to, go play these things. And then she ruins people.
Just destroys them. Fair enough.
Sauce it up.
Yeah. Go for it. It's the American Gladiators. Next one. Annika Greer.
5. See, aren't you glad we left it open? You want to talk about bigger than life? Annika Greer is 5 foot tall.
She's a competitor. You bring her on as a competitor because she is emotional, and I do like that plays for her.
I don't think she's emotional.
She is very emotional.
What would Annika's gladiator name be?
Purple Rain.
Wow, Spin. That was so good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
That was amazing. Did you have that? That there's no way.
I just came up with that.
You had nicknames for all of these people.
I did not. I don't have one for Bronislaw or Alex.
Bronislav's is just Chekhov.
No, he's the Polish assassin. And Alex can be here. This could be a part of it. We should come up with nicknames for everybody.
What's the Irish girl? What is it? Tangled? What's her name?
Meredith?
Lucy McGonagall?
No.
It's Braveheart. You're thinking of Brave. Meredith. Merida. She's not that.
That's not going to work.
I think it should be like a lion something because she's got the big mane kind of hair looking thing. The lioness. Let's just that can be hers.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't like it?
I like it.
Tyler doesn't like it.
What the hell, Larry? A little dump truck.
I think that's for Annika, but
it probably is.
Yo, Purple Rain is crazy. That's so good.
Little dump truck.
That's
Jesus
so
Christ.
good.
There you go.
Ooh, how about that? I like this one. Ironheart.
for Alex.
Yeah, like Braveheart, but
It could
iron.
work. It could work. It could work. Here we go. Next one. Oh, who said CrossFit? They're all one-word names without the.
Yeah.
It's what we're doing. It's fine. Next one.
We're not putting rules on ours.
Hopper.
See, I think Hopper's made for shows like this. I think he like eats this stuff up.
See, my number one draft pick is Sprague.
Yeah, James would be good too. He needs to be the Pink Pony Express. The Pink Pony Express. That's
Hopper would be
nickname.
platinum.
No, he's something. He's like a stretched out Slim Shady. So, we'll see if we have to come up with like thick and M.
That's easy. That's marketable.
You like that? You like that? Thick and M. That's his. That feels like I'm saying a bad word.
Thick and M.
Yeah. Like say it. Doesn't it feel like you're saying something like you shouldn't say?
Nope, but I'll go with number one. I don't think Sprague's gonna pop up, so I'm going with number one.
I would 100% agree with you. I think James Sprague would be your number one. I agree with you, but okay, I'm with you all the way.
All right, last one, right in the middle. It's another dude.
Austin Hatfield.
It's not Austin Hatfield.
Is it James? Did we mess it up?
No, it's not James. It is Roman Krenikov.
Okay, that's the Russian. Every foreign person is just the country.
I like it. Roman should be at 2. Gazan should be at 3. Everybody else is good.
I concur. Okay. I would swap those two. We can come up with a better name than the Russian. What are Russian things?
Vodka.
Ukraine's worst enemy.
Sickle.
I don't know. Roman would just be Roman.
Oh, I like that. I kind of like that. Yeah, like that's his. Yeah, he's just Roman. I like that too. Yeah, I like that. Let's okay. We'll
How
rock
would
with that.
Sprague be horrible? He literally teabagged at Jason at WFP.
Yeah. Dude, Sprague would be great. And
he'd play up the part of that for sure.
He's got a golden retriever personality. Like he would be great. That's the Pink Pony Express, man. You can't stop that guy. You know how many, like all the kids would love James. Like he'd be the kid's favorite gladiator because he would walk out to Pink Pony Club and wear a little tutu and then wreck people. Like I think honestly, I'm mad that Danny Spiegel's doing it because James would have made a much better gladiator. As we're thinking about it, I would watch the show if it was James Sprague. And I know they're going to make it so not what it was. It's going to be lame because that's all TV does. If you ever watched Ninja Warrior back when it was in Japan, the Japanese version of Ninja Warrior, that's where it came from. It was called Sasuke back in the day. I don't know what channel it was on, but me and my dad used to watch like just marathons of Ninja Warrior. It was so much better. So much better. Dude, the announcers would be like, they'd fall in the water and the announcers would be like, their family must be so dishonored at this moment. And it was so amazing. Only like 3 people won in like 20 years, like got through all the stages. And now it's just so Americanized and lame. And they're going to do the exact same thing with Gladiators, even though it was American Gladiators. They're going to make it 2025 American Gladiators. And I want the 90s Gladiators.
Honorable mention on Gladiators is Taylor Williamson. She would have been the best American Gladiator from the CrossFit realm of all time.
Again, maybe ability, but you think personality-wise?
When she had the shaved
Pinheiro would be the best gladiator.
I think Danielle Brandon would make a good gladiator.
Yeah.
I think so.
On the women's side? Yeah.
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 Trying to think of others that might have been cool.
I miss shows where we didn't care about being safe and like the human body and health. Like they roided every single gladiator up as much as they could, and I'm here for it. Like if it's entertainment and it's like we want to like sell stuff, like let's let this roided up peak athlete wreck this soccer mom. Like let's do it. And you could sign like a waiver, of course. But then, because when that soccer mom wins, she actually did something pretty crazy, and she should be like, it should mean something, and it should be cool. And now it's just everybody's going to be as safe as possible, and it sucks. And I like when somebody falls in the water in Ninja Warrior, American Ninja Warrior, I want the announcers to be like Sevon. Like, that was pretty terrible. Not like, I can't wait for her to go to her community and practice on the net some more. Like, I want kids to be afraid to do it. Not, and it's I don't know.
Agreed, John. TV's
Vicky,
been on the downhill since Legend of the Hidden Temple was taken off the air. So,
Vicky, Danielle, or Folo would be good. Folo
would be
she
good.
tried out for wrestling. It was not for her, so maybe not for gladiators. Not sure. So there you go. There's your gladiators. Congrats to Mr. Jason Hopper.
That's right.
That's how you win.
I could market it.
That's right. Last one, guardrails. All right, so we just finished up the second stage 2 of the 2025 CrossFit Games season. Some people think it was a lot. It was the Wild West. It wasn't quite 2019 or 2020's start of the season, but we had 9 events at Renegade Games. We've had 5 events at Mayhem. We've had TFX and its programming. We've had NorCal and everything in between all of that. Should there be some guardrails that these, assuming we do something similar next year where these in-person qualifying events have free reign to run their competition, should there be guardrails for those event organizers? Tyler?
I'm going to start with programming. I think somebody just needs to check to make sure it's not absolutely ridiculous. But for the most part, I like that they have freedom to kind of do their own thing.
With the actual programming of events.
The events, yeah.
I mean, we talked about this last week. I like the idea that Ben and Blair are able to just go
all
nuts.
wild.
I think they need to do better testing, and the implementation of those needs to be better. But I'm all for them throwing in a car push, truck push, gator push, if you can do it right. I'm okay with it being out in the field as long as you can make sure that lines are straight. I'm okay with doing a ladder, but make sure that there aren't too many weights out there. Like, all those things are fine, but you just got to be able to run it properly, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I'd rather see that and have different events every single time than have the same 6 like we had last year. And by week 3, you're like, all right, I don't, this isn't as exciting.
It does. The old regionals where it was the same 6 events.
And last year too, right?
For how many weeks? 4 or 5 weeks. That
The
was
regionals was rough.
It was rough. Like, by the last week, like you watched because you did want to see if somebody broke a world record, as they said so many times back in the day. But you got a little bored with it. The opposite here is true, where I was overwhelmed by the amount of programming that you had to kind of keep up on.
That's
and like
fair.
you guys nerd out on that. I do look at the programming and I give it a glance, but like I said, I'm all ran, and like 10 minutes after I've read the workout, I forget it immediately. That was debuted whenever we did the semifinals workout, and I just did the order completely wrong. I feel like it's a little bit, it's a harder bridge for people to cross when they're like, okay, what's this event? What's this week? Where's this at? You know what I mean? And all the events are different. But do I want to get rid of like the freedom to program your own events? No, but that is something that's worth considering, I think.
John?
See, I don't think it matters if you don't like know the events. And I think it's good that every different event has like their own flavor. But I do think you need some type of committee or like you
Be
allocate
careful.
programming. No, I mean like an elected committee, the CAC.
Okay.
Where
Is the CAC still around?
I don't know what,
That was
where
only
you
president to
I
ever
don't-
exist.
I don't think Taylor would know if it's still around either. But the where you approve of programming for events, like there needs to be something. Either Dave approves it, Boz approves it, or like a committee approves it. But I don't think like you should be able to do your own events, but it needs to be well balanced programming. Obviously, it can be biased towards certain things, but it cannot be as bad as TFX was. It cannot be as bad as Wadland was. Those are really the main two that I feel like were atrocious. But like I think it needs to be balanced to a certain point. Okay. Obviously, it's okay to have bias a certain thing. And if you want to bias power, you can. But the whole entire event cannot be power and speed bias, just like the games should not be endurance biased. It should be well balanced to an extent. And then if there's like more pulling workout than normal, that's totally fine.
I would agree only if you are limiting people to regions. From that standpoint, having to be more fair and balanced. If it is wide open to anybody, I like the idea of it being skewed one way or the other. Like,
yeah, no, I'm good with it.
TFX,
being
if TFX turns out to the power
skewed.
output, and then you just get power output athletes after a couple of years going there because you know that's going to be the case. You have higher skilled athletes going to NorCal. Like, that would be interesting because then you could see like what happens when those types of athletes make it to the games. Like, get really crazy and say there's a Hyrox event qualifier and you see that they take last every time. Right? We know what happens. You know, I'm
good with it being skewed, Brian. I'm good with it being skewed, but it cannot be as bad as it was.
I don't think it was that bad.
I think it was terrible. And there's a problem that you don't think it's that bad. I think if you ask Taylor, if you ask Bryson, if you asked JR, who are three, I feel like everybody.
I'm not saying it was good. I'm not saying they were not biased.
No, not biased, Brian. Terrible. Like local competitions are programmed better. And the fact that you cannot see that is a problem. I
don't care.
You're sending people to the games. He just said he didn't think programming was that bad. He just said he didn't think it was that bad. Brian.
Right.
It can be biased, but not to the extent that it was, is what I'm saying.
I'm saying okay.
It might not have even affected who went, but running needs to be tested. It needs to be tested. Yeah. It's literally one of the most important things in all of fitness.
We'll find out. We'll find out when we get to the games in the first event where the TFX athletes show up.
It doesn't matter. Dude, Nick Matthews going to have his home runs. Chris Ibarra is going to be middle of the pack. It doesn't matter where they end up at the games. I know what you're saying. You want everybody's flavor, and then you go to the games, you see who wins, right? That's what you want. Cool. Yes. But the CrossFit Games is testing for the fittest man and woman on the planet. You need to be tested in all the things before you get there.
But they're not the exact same though every single stage of the game.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, and it can have that bias. Nick Matthew would have still went to the games if a 5K run was in place of the clean event. He would have still went. And if he wouldn't, yeah, because Nate Ackerman was third. You think he's doing very hot in that either? No. Okay. Basically, the top 7 were all like Nick Matthew and just not as good as Nick Matthew, except for Chris. That's great. Except for Chris. Now, what I'm saying, I don't think it would have affected who went, but like if Hannah Black went to the games,
sweet.
That's a problem.
But that didn't happen.
You're right, Tyler. It should have happened if it wasn't. She just executed that workout very poorly, but. I'm not saying like what I'm saying, like maybe you appoint Boz to 2 competitions and then you appoint Dave to 2 competitions and then JR to 2 competitions just to approve programming, not change it, approve it.
What if
And
you
then-
disapprove it?
Then they need to come up with other events. So for instance, if they submit their workouts and Dave's like, I know you don't like Dave's programming, so pick who you want to pick. Pick who you want to pick. Boz. And Boz is like, guys, you have literally 0 endurance. Your only long event has 60 burpee dumbbell box step overs. Like, that's the crux of the event, and your endurance event is dumbbell box step overs. Your only running is like the cleans are the only thing that matters. So you need to test running more, and your long event, that should not be the crux. And then it's on them to fix it. They submit it again, and then it gets approved. It's super easy. That's not hard. And then the last event is a 550 meter run every round. Right? You go 550 meters, 3 cleans, 550 meters, 2 cleans, 550 meters, 1 clean. I think we all agree that would be a better workout. You're still testing strength. You're still doing what you want, and you tested running. Right? And like NorCal's programming, I don't think was bad. The whole competition was just executed poorly. But when I'm saying approved programming, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying no, he like Dave programs 2 events. That's not what I'm saying. You still get to program, but they say you need to change X and X, and then it will work. That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. I actually got tired of Isabel by the end of it. I like just didn't care anymore, and it was hurt by the fact that people did it multiple times. Like Jack did it how many times? It's like
Yeah.
But what you were saying about there should be some standards on, like, I don't want to say safety, but like lanes should be the right size, like platforms should be even, different things like that. Like, that one feels like you shouldn't have to write down, or that you shouldn't have to.
Those weren't the
enforce.
guardrails I was thinking about, but
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, that's on the competition organizers.
What about, and I go back and forth on this one, rather than approving the workouts, but like, obviously Dave has an idea of what the games are going to be. And like, let's say Dave was going to have 225 pound snatches programmed in the games. And then everybody starts doing heavy Isabel at these in-person qualifying events. Should it more be like, hey, you need to program
for these things? Like you need to program a run workout.
You got to do a heavy clean and jerk or something. Like, you got to have running that's, they got to be able to run over 2 miles in some form or fashion. You have
sort of like minimum work requirements.
There has to be ring muscle ups in there, because we didn't do ring muscle ups in the open. You got to do ring muscle ups here. And like, that way you have like movements that you have to do, but you can have your own flavor of it, right? Like, do lighter snatches or heavier clean and jerks, or vice versa, or deadlifts. Like, so it's not the exact same. Would that be okay with you, John? Or do you want the actual workouts approved?
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever they put stipulations on the program, I don't have a problem with what you said. If they did that, that'd be fine. But I also think that people who actually put thought into their programming, now they're hamstrung by these rules that they wouldn't have otherwise. I don't want to put like stipulations on how you program. It just needs to be somewhat well balanced.
It's negated your entire argument.
No, I didn't. No, you're talking about movements. For instance, like if you want to do heavy snatches in the games, you should be allowed to. You don't know what's at the games, right? That's a stipulation. Hey, you need to do lighter snatches. You can't do heavy snatches, or you need to do ring muscle ups. That's a stipulation. Like, I'm saying, just make it somewhat well balanced. That's not putting like rules on your competition. Otherwise, we're not testing for the fittest people. We're testing for who is either like who's the best Hyroxer, or who is the most fast and powerful. We're not testing for all around fitness, and that's what we are testing. That's what CrossFit is all around fitness, everything. It's not just who's really good at this one thing.
I don't like saying this because it's a cop out so often of like the fittest did make it. And in this case, I do think the fittest did make it. And therefore,
that's how you get the 2024 CrossFit Games, though, because Matt Fraser and Tia Toomey bail you out every year.
I think games is a bit different.
I think the games needs to be balanced. It needs to be a good,
yeah,
true test. I'm saying the people that get there.
So you don't think semifinals should be a true test of fitness?
That's
saying
not
that,
what we're saying.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't have to meet like some range of this is like balanced enough, right? Like there are times where you need more strength or more power than others.
Honestly think TFX was balanced enough? If you do, we can just end the conversation because we are not going to.
I don't care if it was balanced enough.
I fundamentally disagree so badly.
I think it could be outside of this range of
you think TFX was balanced enough?
I don't think it has to be. I don't think it was, but I think I'm okay with it not being as it was. It's not a powerlifting meet. They're still going to follow the type of CrossFit. You could probably argue that Rogue is not like it would fall outside of those rails of what balanced is. Like
you'd be okay
Rogue was
with
more balanced than TFX.
So this is just a problem with TFX. Got it.
Easily.
And
Wadland. And Wadland.
What was wrong with Wadland?
They had the same problems TFX had. You have 6 events and one's Heavy Isabel, the others are max out, and then your running event was
so we got Bronny.
Sandbag squats when it was in it.
Bronny's going. It's good.
You see what I'm saying? And like, I don't think he earned it. I think he just picked the right competition. I don't like that at all.
So did Gazan.
I think Gazan would have made it any other way. No, I don't think NorCal was not. I think NorCal was well balanced. The execution is just a problem.
There is something to be said though, because back in the day, and maybe I remember this differently than it really happened, but I feel like early days, people were saying like, whose training program is the best, even within CrossFit, like who can get the athletes the farthest, whose athletes are most adept to go to the games. And there was this difference in bias in programming. And so if TFX, it's so far on the bad side that you can't see what if it was, what if they programmed well, they just programmed so different that you didn't like it. And then all of their athletes go to the games and they actually do really well. And then you're like, well, hold on. So it's like we have the worst case scenario that we're arguing about, but it can easily be flipped on its head the other direction.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
That's why I like it.
Yeah, sure. If Nick Matthew gets top 5 at the CrossFit Games, then I will say that I'm wrong and you're right. For sure. I would 100% would see to that.
Chris Ibarra.
Absolutely. If he gets top 5 of the CrossFit Games, you're absolutely right. If Bronislaw Linkowitz gets top 5 of the CrossFit Games, you're absolutely right.
Bronny's great. I'm not mad that Bronny's going to be there. How about number of events? I do feel strongly about this one. I think it does need to be limited.
There needs to be a minimum and a maximum.
Yes.
Why? If you're prepping to go to the CrossFit Games, what's wrong with doing 9 events?
I agree. I think you just let the competitions do what they want.
Oh, now it's okay to just let them do anything they want? Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I really liked.
I just want good programming. I don't care about anything else. I want solid programming.
Okay. I really liked when I was there at Mayhem. I really liked that 5-event competition and how in the time frame of it. With that said, I think we do need teams back to qualify through these things. And so I don't think it works that same way. Like a 5-hour block is just going to be really tough unless you try to do teams all in the morning, then you do individuals right after that. It's probably not the most efficient use of your time that way. I think going to 9 events was insane.
That's bonkers. That's so far out of the norm too.
That's what Sanctuals turned into. Like everybody wanted to one up. I mean, Sanctuals back in the day, they were swimming, they were doing like crazy runs. Like it was literally a mini games in some of these Sanctionals. I think 6 is okay. If you cannot program a good enough like set of workouts You don't need more to do that.
I'd give you 7. I'd go as high as 7. I'm not going
7
over 7.
scored 6 times you're on the floor.
Okay.
You have a very specific thing that you want, right?
I don't think.
I think 6 or 7 is fine.
Because I think if you are going to make it where everybody can go out everywhere and compete multiple times, like first of all, we've already seen that trying to do back-to-back Syndicate NorCal is really tough. And that was just 6, right?
Right.
But you start throwing in 9, nobody from Renegade Games was going to have a shot at going to NorCal and qualifying.
See, I don't care about that because if you were fit enough, you would have qualified already. Like, you did not qualify, so now you have to do another event. Like, yeah, you're going to be shot. Yeah.
But John,
everybody else is too.
Think about it this way though. If it's the same number of in-person qualifying events and the in-affiliate semifinals was the last chance qualifier, imagine everybody going to in North America ends up going to TFX and Mayhem and Syndicate NorCal, right? Like, and there's only 2 spots up for grabs. And let's say that the East, where majority of them go, right? Like Hopper, Dallin, Adler, Jack. I mean, there's a bunch of them there. Only 2 qualify. And like, yes, you could probably rely on the last chance qualifier and getting in through online, but nobody wants to do that. Right. So you're probably going to go to another one. I think if you change the season up and you put the last chance at the end, I mean, even if every big one 3 invites, so the last chance is only like 5 spots or something like that. Like, that gets pretty nerve-wracking at the end, right? You start seeing the workouts. Do you actually even try, or do you know you're going to get beat if it's only a handful of spots? So people, I think, start going to more competitions because you got 3rd and you don't want to rely on it. So you try again. Yeah. And if you start having competitions that say, we're going to do 9 next year because we want to be more unique, I think it gets to be way too much.
Are you saying there's too much? Are you saying we're working out too much? We're competing too much?
Yes, very much so.
As far what other guardrails could there be?
Timing, right? I think putting 4 on one weekend may not be the best. Right, have a little bit better, like, forethought as to when competitions are scheduled.
I think this year was probably a little bit of a weird one for that, just because everybody was scrambling to figure it out and pull it off. If we go forward, I think that probably will be less of an issue.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, you have 2 European ones and they're basically back to back, or
right.
Yeah, I think they were back to back weekends, right? Then you have North America that you have 3 and 4 weeks at the very end of the season. I feel like if you could figure out a way to maybe spread those out more evenly, so that they're not all on the same weekend, that might help. Just trying to see if there's anything else that you guys thought, like what oversight should CrossFit play when it comes to this?
See, I like the grind.
You just want them to
No, I think you should be make a choice. I think most of them would do 1, and then I think a good portion of them would do 2. And if you don't make the second one, then you just prepare for the online qualifier. And like, you see who's made it and who hasn't. Like, say somebody like pick a name. Anybody. Really good name.
Hopper.
Okay, so say Hopper
didn't like it.
My mom's leaving. So, say Hopper didn't make it. He's got to beat guys like Ty Jenkins, Moritz Fiebig.
In the last chance.
I wanted to bring up the point score, or the scoring format. I understand the point here. The problem is that there's different amounts of athletes at every single event. You can't. I guess you could use game scoring that they've used.
Should there be a limit? Should there be a limit on how many should be able to compete? Like, are we okay with Wadland saying, "Hey, 80 athletes is cool"?
No,
And
me and
then Mayhem
Tyler are
saying
doing
there's
Wildland
20.
next year.
I think that's self-limiting because athletes are going to be like, yeah, there's too many people going to that one. I'm just not going to go, right? And so that'll start to recalibrate itself. I think I don't really care. Like if you can sell
agree.
those tickets, just sell them. It's fine.
I agree.
Okay.
The best, like, and again, here I'm using this argument. The best will make it, but the top 20, like if you have 80 athletes, the top 20 are going to be in the top 20.
The bottom 40 were just not even close to what needed to be.
Are we doing it next year, Tyler?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We'll spin. Will you like combine with Sevon to pay for our trip?
Yeah, if you guys actually qualify.
I feel like we could do like a GoFundMe. Oh yeah. It counts as like a work thing.
It is not.
We can write it off.
Yeah, we can write it off on
Write it off.
What about qualifiers?
No.
You don't care?
Yeah,
each competition gets their own
open
thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with how it went this year.
You're okay with Mayhem just inviting people and then others having an online qualifier, others using the open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't care.
All that.
It gave us a lot to talk about. And I think it pretty much worked out. I think it was good that the East and the West sort of split, and then NorCal should have been like this real last chance qualifier until they came out with last chance qualifier. On the American side, the European thing, it's sort of just, I don't know how that one worked. Anybody could go to those.
Anybody could go to everything except for Rebel Renegade Games, Syndicate and TFX.
Yeah.
And Copassur. Copassur was limited.
Yeah. I'm good with it.
Okay.
Now, if you're getting outside of if you're going way outside the rails on this one, and like you're just picking somebody who's terrible. But I mean, like, even what was that guy that was on Pedro's show, on the debate show? Australian cat, and he had done well years and years ago, and they invited him back. I mean, you could make the argument that that's way outside the rails, but I was still okay with it.
Okay.
Again, if you can put as many people in the competition as you want, it doesn't really matter.
That's fair. Okay. I like the Wild West as much as possible. I just think that number of events and some timing of it. And I think they got to figure out some way to limit the number of online qualifiers in the season.
I think we all like the Wild West. We just care about different things.
I would agree with that. Yes. Yeah, that is for sure. All right, I think that's it.
You didn't have one more thing you wanted to do?
No.
All right.
No.
I actually have something coming out here pretty soon. It's
you gotta go to the bathroom?
No, it's a bit of a challenge.
More t-shirts?
No.
Okay.
It's going to be a challenge that I'm going to put out to everybody, and if somebody can do it, you'll get $1,000.
Better not be 50 ring muscle ups.
It's not 50 ring muscle ups, but it's not for Tyler. But although we should clarify your guidelines, and we should plan a date. But it's going to be called JY's Gauntlet, so stay tuned. And if somebody can do it, I'll give you $1,000. Well, I'm going to be partnered with a couple people to give you $1,000. It is. I am paying too, but I can't do 1,000. If a whole bunch of people do it, I can't do that. Right. So, but stay tuned. Also,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we can talk about it after. It's okay because you're one of the people that's going to help me pay for it. But Tyler, let's we're gonna go 40 for 5 minutes, right? Have you gotten in touch with Sarah?
Why do I need to get in touch with Sarah?
We're just gonna buy you a computer if you can do it.
At this point, it was just a challenge. I thrown the computer out the window.
I don't think you can do it.
I don't think you can either.
40 in 5 minutes, I can do that.
All right, cool. So Souza's in it for you too. Good deal. I mean, like I'm gonna put some stuff behind it. I'm hoping to get like JR behind it, and then Stevan podcast behind it. Hopefully Hiller behind it. I'm gonna try to make it a thing, and I don't think anybody in the world can do it. Putting that out there,
except for you,
JY's Gauntlet.
Why does Spin look like this is the first to hear of this? Because it is the very first time I'm hearing it. I have no idea.
Well, I had to get it together. But so Tyler, 40 ring muscle ups in 5 minutes. Do we want to go live at some point this week for you? Why don't you give us a date?
Friday
works.
Friday, what time? What time will you be at the gym, Tyler?
5. Well, I got to make it work for Spin, 6:30.
No, I can do it earlier. I can do it during the day, in the afternoon.
Yeah, he wouldn't say Friday if you didn't have the whole day off.
Yeah.
Let's do 6.
6 p.m. Central?
Eastern.
6 Eastern? Okay, 5 o'clock. All right.
5
All right, Tyler. I feel like we should do something, put something on the line.
We have a computer.
Okay.
I have my ass.
If you get it.
We'll get it.
Well, you're doing ring muscle ups. What do you think you're doing? All right. Have you picked your computer?
You just get to pick it.
Oh, we get to pick it. We're gonna give him my old computer.
I'm
I will personally
still better than Tyler's.
I will personally give you the computer that I watch movies on.
There you go.
Good. Yeah, that one's infected for sure.
I only watch movies. 1, 2, 3 movies. Put Locker. There's a whole bunch of different little sites where you can find whatever movie that you want to find. And that's and I only use that laptop if we want to like HDMI a movie to the TV. It's pretty cool. And that'll be your computer.
And Japanese American Gladiator.
Yeah, no. Like some of the movies are like they have like Japanese subtitles. Like it's English. It's like the Avengers was like that. We watched the Avengers and then it just had Japanese subtitles. And I was like, how do we get these subtitles off? And we could not get them off. And then we just watched the entire thing because it was like they were talking English, right? Like it was a regular Avengers movie. But then like they had, yeah, I couldn't get that off.
Yeah. All right. Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern. Tyler, 40 muscle ups for time. Got to beat 5 minutes. We'll see you then.
I apologize to absolutely nobody.